Okay, thanks so much, everybody, for joining us today. This is the Wildfire Adapted Partnership Contractor Training video. This video is meant for contractors who are interested in learning more about Wildfire Adapted Partnerships programs, grant programs. So my name is Alex Graf, and I am the Western La Plata County Coordinator for Wildfire Adapted Partnership.
And my name is Ryan Cook, and I'm the Eastern La Plata County Coordinator for Wildfire Adapted Partnership.
Though we're both from La Plata County and operate and work in La Plata County, Wildfire Adapted Partnership works in Montezuma, Dolores, San Juan, La Plata, and Archuleta counties, and this cost share process will be similar across those different county lines.
So our objectives for this video is to provide some background on Wildfire Adapted Partnership and our organization. We would like to provide a step-by-step explanation of our cost share process. We're going to identify current grant geographies, and we hope to help contractors have a better understanding of their role in the cost share process. And at the end of the presentation, we're going to answer some frequently asked questions that we hear from contractors. So some background on Wildfire Adapted Partnership. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and enable individuals and communities to protect lives and properties from wildfire. Our organization was founded in 2003 after the Missionary Ridge Fire, which burned over 70,000 acres in La Plata County. Wildfire Adapted Partnership started with one coordinator working part-time and covering one county. And today we've grown to have 6 employees covering 5 counties: La Plata, San Juan, Archuleta, Montezuma, and Dolores County. A cost share project is where the cost of fire mitigation work is shared between the home or landowner and our organization, Wildfire Adapted Partnership. Homeowners who participate in cost share projects are eligible to receive grant funding, which would reimburse a portion of the cost of that fire mitigation work. And all cost share projects follow a similar step-by-step process, which we're going to explain in this video. The first step in any cost share project is for the homeowner to sign up for a site assessment and schedule that assessment with the Wildfire Adapted Partnership coordinator. There's a couple different ways that people can sign up for site assessments. If you're in La Plata County, they can sign up on La Plata County's website, as well as Wildfire Adapted Partnership's website. During the site assessment, a coordinator will assess structural ignitability and quality of defensible space. We typically walk around the home and the property with the homeowner. During that time, we're discussing Colorado State Forest Service home ignition zone guidelines, as well as informing them about grant requirements. During the site assessment, if a homeowner is showing interest in moving forward with a cost share project, we would be flagging trees and other vegetation that would need to be removed in order to be eligible for that grant funding. After the site assessment, if a homeowner wants to move forward, the coordinator would write up a scope of work that would align with those home ignition zone guidelines set by Colorado State Forest Service, as well as the grant requirements. After the scope of work is written up, the coordinator will email that scope of work to the homeowner. Once a homeowner has received the scope of work from the coordinator, it's their responsibility to reach out to contractors and get bids for the project using that scope of work that was provided. Wildfire Adapted Partnership will not recommend contractors, but we do share the Colorado State Forest Service contractor list. To be added to the contractor list, you can reach out to your local Colorado State Forest Service office and request to be added to that list. During the cost share project, the entire scope of work must be completed in order for homeowners to be eligible for that reimbursement. And if there's any questions, either from the homeowner or from the contractor about that scope of work, don't hesitate to reach out to the coordinator and ask for clarification on that. Once a homeowner has contacted a contractor and requested a bid, this is really where the contractors enter that cost share process. For bids, contractors are free to use their own bidding template. Bids should look professional, easy to read, and well organized. If contractors do not have their own bidding template, we attach one to the scope of work, which is also an option to use for bids. On the bids, it's important that if there are any technical tree removals, they must be specified on that bid. Mainly the number of technical tree removals, the cost of technical tree removals, and a brief description of why tree removals are considered technical. So on this slide, I'd like to provide some clarification on what exactly a technical tree is. Really, any tree removals that's going to require additional resources or some specialized felling techniques would be considered a technical tree removal. Trees that require climbing are definitely considered technical, as well as trees that require ropes and rigging. A couple other things would be trees that are going to require significantly more time to remove, or removals that are going to be more costly than your average tree. So once a homeowner has received some bids from contractors, it's up to them to choose which contractor they want to hire. And at that point, the homeowner is responsible for submitting the bid from their chosen contractor to the coordinator. It's important that they only submit the bid from the selected contractor. We do not require multiple bids, but it's not a bad idea to get a couple of bids. At that point, the WAP coordinator will review the bid to make sure that the entire scope of work will be completed and give their approval.
At this point, the Wildfire Adapted Partnership Coordinator will send the award letter to the homeowner after they've selected a contractor and submitted a bid. The award letter will specify the maximum reimbursement amount that the homeowner is eligible to receive. The homeowner has 14 days to sign and return the award letter back to the coordinator, and there's no binding agreement until the award letter is signed. It's super crucial, and especially for contractors, to understand that no work should start until the award letter has been signed by the homeowner and returned to the coordinator. And so it's just going to require some good communication between the contractor and a homeowner to know when that has occurred. At this point, it's time to schedule a project start date. The homeowner is responsible for communicating with the contractor and scheduling a project start date. It's important to know that work must be completed within 90 days of an award letter being signed. And if there are any questions, it's always a good idea to reach out to the Wildfire Adapted Partnership Coordinator during work, before work. If you're a contractor and have questions, please just reach out. Okay, so now we're ready for the final inspection. The work got completed, everything looks good, and so now the homeowner is responsible for scheduling a final inspection with the coordinator once everything's all complete. Here's how that's going to work. The coordinator inspects the work and ensures that the entire scope of work has been completed. What we're looking for when we mean the entire scope of work has been completed is that all flag trees have been removed and that there has been a material removal plan and that has been executed. It's super crucial that the entire scope of work gets completed. It's actually a requirement for reimbursement. If a scope of work was not completed or was changed without approval from the coordinator, reimbursement will not be issued until the contractor completes the agreed upon scope of work. So now we're at the end of a cost share project, and we're going to tie up all the loose ends. It is the homeowner's responsibility to pay the contractor in full once the scope of work is completed and inspected by a coordinator. After receiving payment, a contractor must provide a homeowner with an invoice showing a $0 balance. This paperwork is going to be really important for the homeowner in pursuing their reimbursement, which will be issued to them directly from Wildfire Adapted Partnership. And that completes a cost share project. Okay, so here are some frequently asked questions that we wanted to answer for you. So what if a homeowner has already received a contractor bid before signing up or scheduling a site assessment with the coordinator?
In this scenario, it's important that a homeowner reach out to a Wildfire Adapted Partnership coordinator and let them know that they've already received a contractor bid for their project. At that point, the coordinator will try to prioritize this site assessment and get out there as quickly as they can to write up a scope of work and complete a site assessment with the homeowner.
We can get you back on track if you've already given a homeowner a bid. As a contractor, you need to direct the homeowner to Wildfire Adapted Partnership. So like Ryan said, we can prioritize that assessment and hopefully get them back on track.
This is definitely not an ideal situation, but it's not too late for a homeowner to participate in a cost share project. Another question that we get asked frequently is, what if a homeowner or a contractor wants to add a tree removal to the scope of work?
So for this question, it's really important to remember that the way a cost share program works is that the coordinator writes up a scope of work based on the home ignition zone guidelines. However, in the scenario that a homeowner wants to include an additional tree after a scope of work has already been written, the most important thing is that that homeowner reaches out to the coordinator as soon as possible so the coordinator can determine if that tree is eligible to be included in the scope of work. All right, what if a project doesn't pass a final inspection?
This is a pretty rare scenario. It's important to know that Wildfire Adapted Partnership coordinators are not looking to fail homeowners with that final inspection. But if it does happen, we're willing to work with the homeowner and the contractor to figure out a way to finalize that scope of work and make sure that all trees and vegetation have been cut, as well as the material removal plan has been executed.
This is a super rare occurrence, and the best way to avoid this situation is to ensure that everything in the scope of work gets accomplished. As long as that happens, a project will pass a final inspection.
One way to avoid this situation is to maintain open communication with the coordinator throughout the entire cost share process. Again, if there's any questions about that scope of work or what the coordinator is looking for, don't hesitate to reach out.
I just want to take a minute here to talk about current grant opportunities. As of this record date, early March of 2024, currently in La Plata County, there's grant funding along the Florida corridor from city limits up to Lemon Reservoir, as well as cost share funding available in Rafter J. Additionally, there's cost share funding in Montezuma and Archuleta counties. In Montezuma County, this blue shaded area is eligible and runs from Narragansett Reservoir southeast through Dolores, through Cedar Mesa Ranches, towards 160, all along the forest boundary, all the way to about Mancos Hill. And in Archuleta County, funding is currently available throughout the entire county. In addition to cost share funding for defensible space projects, another flagship program of Wildfire Adapted Partnership is our Chipper Rental Rebate Program. This program is available to individuals and communities. Individuals are eligible for a 50% reimbursement of their chipper expenses, maximum of $250, and HOAs and communities are eligible for 50% reimbursement with a maximum of $1,500. The expenses that can be covered are physical expenses of renting a chipper, as well as paying a contractor to do a chipper specific project. The application for that program is on our website. We do require invoices, photos, and it's really important to remember that this program cannot be used in addition to a cost share project. It has to be a separate project. So for instance, if a cost share project has chipping, you can't use this chipper program in addition to cost share funding. They're two separate things. So that's the rundown on Wildfire Adapted Partnerships cost share programs. We hope this helped you as a contractor to better understand our process and procedures. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me or Ryan. I cover the western side of La Plata County. Ryan covers the eastern side, or your coordinator in Archuleta or Montezuma County.